Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today is another YouTube Artist Collective Day and I'm super excited about this one. But before I get into that, I do want to explain what's happening on the screen right now. This is all of my preliminary concept sketches for this piece. So I had quite a bit of a difficult time actually coming down with the concept. So I thought it'd be interesting to kind of include my concept process. So basically what you see here is just me sketching out basically any idea that came into my head for this piece before I finally, cemented one down. Anyway, so like I said, it's a YouTube Artist Collective Day. If you guys don't know what that is, I've talked about it many times before on this channel, but basically a bunch of artists here on YouTube, we all upload different videos on the same day with the same theme that you guys choose, and then we encourage you guys to also take part in the theme and upload your own videos. We have a Facebook page where you guys help vote on what kind of concepts you like to see next, and it's a lot of fun and it's super community driven, and I will have everyone's information in the description box below, so please check out all the other artists. We have some guest artists as well this month, which I'm super excited about, so welcome guest artists to the collective. Thank you guys for joining us. And yeah, if any of you have also participated in this month's theme, please let me know down below so I can check it out. And the theme for this month was originally tarot cards, and then it got changed to include all cards of any kind. So basically any kind of playing card or tarot card or oracle card, anything like that. So that was the theme, and then each artist, of course, interprets it in their own way, which is my favorite part of the collective, is just seeing how everyone else handles the theme. So yeah. Also, I am still getting over getting sick, so I am sorry if this voiceover has a lot of coughing and sniffling in it. Yeah, I'm doing my best, guys. So I was super excited for this theme because I actually read tarot cards and they're really important to me, and I love talking about them and sharing my experiences with them because I feel like a lot of people might have the wrong idea about tarot cards most of the time. So I really want to use this video as kind of like a learning or teaching opportunity to teach you guys more about tarot cards that you might not have known. I feel when people first think of tarot cards, they think of like a fortune teller and telling the future, or maybe communicating with spirits, or gosh, in extreme cases, communicating with the devil, which is not anything anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. But people seem to think that tarot cards are this magical, mystical, I don't know, just this thing that they're really quite not. And of course, excuse me, everyone you talk to is going to have a different opinion, so this is purely my opinion, and of course you may disagree with me. That's okay, just please don't be mean to me in the comments. But this is just my experiences, my opinions, so on and so forth. So you really don't use tarot cards to read the future, at least not the way I use them. Basically, tarot cards are used for when you have a question and you want an answer. And the thing I love about tarot cards is you're not asking the question to someone else. You're asking the question to yourself, and you're looking inside yourself for the answers with the help of the cards. Now that sounds a little confusing when I say it out loud, but I'm going to try to explain. So each card has its own meaning, and its meaning is based on numerology, on imagery, on symbolism, all kinds of things. But what's more important than the quote-unquote official meaning is your own intuition when reading the cards. So, for example, if I were to pull a card, and to me that card would say something about maybe dreams, maybe like, oh, this card makes me feel something about dreams or about peacefulness, that is more important than what the official meaning is, if that makes sense. So when you use tarot cards, you're really kind of focusing more so on your own intuition. So when you use tarot cards, like I said before, you're asking a question. You want an answer to something. So you ask your question, like basically into the void, into the universe. You just throw your question out there. And then you pull your cards, and then the cards will help you discover the answer that you can find yourself. You know? I really hope that I am explaining this right. Because a lot of people assume that, you know, the cards tell you an exact answer. And that's not true. Like, I hear it all the time. Well, what do the cards tell you and everything like that? And people seem to have this idea that, like, you can ask a tarot card deck, you know, what is going to be the name of the person I marry? And the deck will be able to tell you. And that is so not true, because what the deck does is allow you to open your mind and become more open to any kind of answers that may come your way. And these answers can be found introspectively. They can be found by meditating. They can be found by just looking at the cards and thinking about them. But the most important thing is that you have the answer already. Like, you have the power within you to solve whatever problem that you're going through. You're just using the cards as a way of bringing that truth out of you. And I think that is the most beautiful thing about reading tarot cards, is you're not relying on anyone else to solve anything for you, you know? It's not like, oh, I need help with this, so I'm going to just hope for the best. It's more like, I have this problem, I want to know how to solve it, but I don't know how, so I'm going to ask these questions until I get an answer. And the answer the answer, more often than not, is just something that you have to do a little soul searching for. So that is why I love tarot cards and I love to read them. It's a learning experience. And for me personally, it kind of feels like I'm talking to a best friend when I read my cards. I know that sounds kind of silly, but it really just helps kind of relax you, especially if you do meditation with it, which I highly recommend. But it just helps relax you and helps you think really introspectively and just look inside yourself instead of all of these external forces, because I feel like I'm guilty of this too. But when we have a problem, our first thing that we do is we blame it on like an outside source. And I love tarot because it takes that away. And it's like, I have a problem, so what can I do to fix my problem? It's a really hands-on approach to solving your own problems, and that is just, I love it. I love it so much. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed hearing me ramble about how great tarot is for a while. And I really apologize for all the coughing. I'm going to try to edit some of it out, but it's kind of hard. But yeah, so I hope you guys learned a little bit more about tarot. I would love to answer any questions you guys have, or maybe even do a more in-depth video on tarot cards or how to do a reading. I really honestly can't talk it up enough. I think everyone should try it because it's fun. And it really helps you just look inside yourself. And I think that is something that a lot of us are missing nowadays, is we don't really spend a lot of time thinking or looking inside ourselves, because it's kind of scary, you know? It's scary to become face to face with who you really are. And I know I get scared when I try to do that. So I think it's a good thing, though, and I think more people should do it. Also, I do just want to take a little aside before I stop talking about tarot. A lot of people have a preconceived idea that tarot is like dealing with spirits, or maybe it's evil, or maybe it deals with the devil or anything. And I just want to say that is not true at all. Tarot is just a form of meditation and looking for answers. So yeah, there's nothing evil about tarot, and I definitely encourage you guys to look into it and research it more, because it's very interesting and it's helped me a lot. So maybe it could help you guys too. So now I want to talk about the piece itself a little bit. Like I said before, I did struggle coming up with the concept because I drew the Seer card, and I actually forgot to mention this. I actually did a reading for myself while trying to think of an idea to do for this video, and I drew the cards that kind of spoke to me the most, and then I meditated on them, and I drew one, and I pulled the Seer card, and I was actually a little disappointed when I pulled it because I was kind of hoping for the stars, but the more I looked at it and the more I kind of thought about its meaning, I was like, you know what? Okay, yeah, I'll do this card. I'll do it. And basically the meaning of this card, it's called the Seer or the High Priestess, depending on what deck you're using. It's called the Seer in my deck, so that's what I named it. And I just want to read a little bit about it for you guys. The High Priestess represents wisdom, serenity, knowledge, and understanding. She's often described as the guardian of the unconscious. She sits in front of a thin veil of awareness, which is all that separates us from our inner selves. So I thought that was actually pretty interesting because I wanted to take this video to teach more people about tarot. And the High Priestess, or the Seer, represents the inner self and learning more about the inner self. So the more I thought about that, the more I thought this is actually kind of perfect. So I struggled a little bit because I wanted to include some of the imagery that is common for the Seer or the High Priestess card, and that is often the moon, because the moon represents our inner self and reflection and meditation. And then I also wanted to include some books, because books are knowledgeable, and the Seer card is also it's also a card that represents wisdom and learning more about, yourself and things around you, the world around you. And then candles, because, candles illuminate the way, maybe illuminate the way to learning more about your inner self is kind of what I was going for. So yeah, I wanted to incorporate all those things into one piece, one card, and it just took a little bit of finagling to get that just right. But I eventually did, and I was very excited because I really do like the concept that I came up with. I think the character herself looks very serene and very powerful, but also very gentle and feminine, which is exactly what I wanted to portray. And yeah, so I So I came up with the sketch on my iPad Pro. That's also where I did my color studies and came up with the color scheme. Then I took a piece of watercolor paper and took my sketch, resketched it onto the watercolor paper, put down some inks. I did want this to be pretty line work heavy, so I did lots of fun, intricate lines with the hair and the dress especially. And then I went in with my schminke watercolors. Is that how I say it? Schminke? I think. Anyway, I went in with my watercolors and just started going crazy. I definitely wanted the color scheme to be lots of purples and blues and pinks. And I'm still trying to get like those dark colors with the watercolors. It's a little hard because the medium is just so pastel and light. But I think I did pretty good. And then
You tried to read some more of it?
And then when I was done with fuck.
Orange juice?
I will. And then when I was done with that, I took it back into my iPad Pro and I added just some more shadows and some more light effects with the candles that I couldn't quite get with the watercolors. So that's basically all I wanted to talk about today. I hope you guys learned a little something new. Let me know if you would like me to make more videos about tarot or anything like that, or if you have any questions, because I would love to help you guys out with it. Please go check out all the other artists in the collective. This was definitely one of the more polarizing themes. I feel like everyone really took this in a whole different direction than everyone else, and I love when that happens. It's so interesting to see. And if you guys have done this, please share it by posting it to the Facebook page or tagging me in social media, because I would love to see what you guys come up with. Anyway, that is all the time I have for today, so thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys!